Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hello, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Eric.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we take a long, hard look at some of our favorite action movies from the era of Arnold.
Schwarzenegger is the icon of the genre, and we're taking a deep dive in some of these 80s and 90s cult action movies and breaking them all the way down.
Eric, what's up, man?
We're back. We're back for number 2.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling well. I am drinking right now a lovely Irish red ale called Smithwick's,
Yeah, dude.
and I'm enjoying my libation for the evening.
It's a real. You got a great head on that thing.
It's a nice, really foamy beer, and I enjoy it a great deal.
Well, I am happy anytime that we're talking about an Arnold movie.
Oh, ever, yeah.
But I'm
forever.
also happy because I'm sipping on a little bourbon because I like to drink the brown liquor when we're talking Arnold, or anytime really. But this is Rebel cask strength single barrel is a gift from John of podcast fame, who
Nice.
says hello to everyone out there listening. It's proofy as a motherfucker. It's like 120 proof. So I think it's going to be one of these. And then I'm going to have to downshift it a little bit or I won't make it to the end.
I mean, there have been a couple episodes we've done where you're on the thread at the edge on episode 5, and those are pretty great.
Got it to a
actually.
science.
Yeah,
At this
yeah.
point, got to know my limits. But no, it's a delicious, delicious whiskey. It doesn't taste that proofy. It's dangerous.
Interesting. Oh, that's
it's dangerous
super
like that.
dangerous.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we're back to talk about more red heat. But before we get to that, there's something we talked about on the last episode that got me thinking.
Okay.
Because I recently watched the movie The Beekeeper, which you had seen already.
I saw it in theaters.
That shit was awesome. Everybody should watch that because it was violent as
It's
fuck.
super violent. And the whole movie is basically Jason Statham going into scam call centers and murdering everybody in the call
Yes!
center. Who doesn't want
Who
that?
doesn't want that?
Who doesn't want that?
But we were talking about like how how many movies there are about a guy who you didn't know it, but he used to be some sort of elite killer. Like there was the Bob Odenkirk movie, Nobody, right? Which I think they're doing a part 2 for.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There's all those John Wicks and like
all the John Wicks.
There's been so many movies.
And honestly, like Bourne Identity is the sort of the progenitor of that genre.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
like-
John Wick took it to the next level.
Oh, you didn't know?
Yeah.
I'll fucking kill everyone in this room.
Yeah, they're a dime a dozen now. And,
Yeah.
And I'm kind of getting tired of it. Honestly,
It's been done.
I mean, Beekeeper was fun.
It was fun.
I'm
And
on
they
the
set it up for more
downslope.
Beekeeper movies,
Yeah,
and I'm
I
like,
know.
I don't know, guys.
The one was fine for me. Yeah.
But that's like you said on our Iron Eagle thing that like that was like the teen power fantasy.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
feel like those type of movies are like the middle-aged man power fantasy.
100%.
What if I just killed everyone who bothered me?
Yes.
I can kind of relate sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, Liam Neeson's doing it.
Yeah,
Oh, you took my
Taken.
daughter. You didn't know I can kill you all instantly. I can snap my finger and you all just die.
It is. They're great power fantasies, and
Yeah,
I
for a certain type of dad.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I know plenty of my friends who are fathers who just they can't get enough.
Oh,
of those
dude,
movies.
I mean, they're fun to watch.
yeah.
They're good catharsis. Those type of
yeah.
movies, and that's why we love them.
Oh yeah, the invincible like soul kind of stoic.
Like revenge, just a good revenge story.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
getting revenge
exactly.
against the people who fucking deserve it.
And I think that the difference is too is that it's different than like in the old days with Charles Bronson.
Death Wish.
Death Wish. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, see, it's not a new idea.
no.
I
But
feel
it's,
like half the westerns probably from back in the 50s
Yeah.
and 60s were similar, like gotta get the people who got your family or some shit.
but the difference is like those movies. It's always 1v1, and there's like maybe 5 people who die. I mean, I remember when I don't remember, but I've read when the first Death Wish came out, it was considered the most violent movie of all time.
And that's probably crazy.
And you
tame.
watch it, you're right. It's so tame. There's like 10 people die in this movie. 10 people die in the first scene of John Wick, practically.
Right.
You know, and so it is that kind of genre on steroids. But I love it, right?
I mean, I mean, we these movies do well for a reason.
Yeah.
And they keep remaking the same almost the same
movie.
plot.
I mean, John Wick and Nobody and Beekeeper, they're all part of a secret organization.
Of course.
Right? Yeah. And it's sometimes they're married with kids, sometimes their wife is dead, sometimes they live with an old woman.
Yes. Oh yeah. What about Denzel? What was his Equalizer?
The Equalizer.
Same thing.
Those movies are so good.
Yeah, they're just so fun to watch.
Good. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's just there's a reason why they keep making them because they're fun to watch. Anyway, I was just something I was thinking about.
No, yeah, for sure.
But we're here to talk about Red Heat.
Red Heat.
Yeah. One of the I always want to call it Red Dawn.
I know
like, that's not right. It's Red Heat.
I mean, you know, commie bastards and all that noise.
Yeah, they were cranking out the There was like we were in the final days of those movies where it could just be anonymous commie bad guys.
Yep.
Then we had to move on to anonymous like Middle Eastern bad guys.
I remember
or vaguely like Eastern European diehard type bad guys, former Soviet bloc.
I remember when GoldenEye came out. It was the first sort of like action movie post the fall of the Soviet Union, and I saw in an interview.
Who were the bad guys in there? Famke Janssen was clearly like former Soviet.
Yeah, they were all
assassin.
That was the whole premise. Is like
was it an old Soviet satellite?
It was an old like it was a satellite, a weapon satellite that basically got abandoned when the Soviet Union fell.
Right.
And these old Soviets said, we're going to take advantage of that and then take over the world with it.
What was it? They could like assassinate people with the satellite? Basically the same plot as like Real Genius.
Yeah, basically. It was basically exactly the same plot.
It's a remake of
Real Genius. But, but basically these rogue Soviets. So they weren't, you know, the Soviet Union was gone.
There were no more real Soviets.
Right.
But it was like old generals and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotcha.
And I love that like they used, it was right at that cusp point where you could still go, oh yeah, okay, we get it. It's not really the Soviet Union, but it's still the bad, you know, they're still Soviet bad guys.
Well, there was that vacuum of like power, and there's the rise of Russian mafia and stuff like that happened was all these guys who were former soldiers needed things to do.
I mean, famously, Robbie Coltrane played a Russian mafioso guy in GoldenEye, and I think the one that followed up after it.
I loved Sean Bean in that flick too. Like
he's a Cossack. You can never trust Cossacks.
I love Sean Bean just in general. Yeah, he was awesome in fucking like Patriot Games.
Oh, yeah.
He's awesome. He always plays sort of the same guy over and over again. Ronan, he was fucking great. Yeah. But that's neither here nor there.
Oh my God, we got to get back to this movie.
Okay, all right.
We started drinking before we started recording, so
we're gonna move through though. Let's
we're in Chicago, Illinois.
What happened though before? What happened in part one?
Oh right, we there is this movie. So there was naked fighting outside of the sauna.
All sorts of ass cheeks.
All sorts of ass and boobies and everything everywhere. Then we cut to a bust. The cops, the Moscow cops are busting up a drug ring. Danko, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, goes in alone for some reason. Things go sideways.
Arrests an entire gang of people,
right?
While all of his backup waited outside. Strangely,
believe it or not, it goes sideways. What? His nameless partner dies. What? And then he finds out that the guy who killed him, Victor. I don't remember.
It doesn't even matter.
It doesn't even matter. The guy who killed him, Victor, has fled to America.
Right.
And Arnold Danko vows vengeance.
We're going to get him.
We're going to get him. We're going to bring him to justice.
Yeah.
And so now, part two.
Yeah. So it's cut to Chicago, Illinois. We're seeing bustling Chicago streets. We're seeing a business named Family Pants.
That's the first.
Fucking wild. Okay. And we see Victor and a couple of goons are there. They've got their heads like fully craned out the windows, like very fucking conspicuous. There was a dark-haired goon and a blonde-haired goon, and the dark-haired goon was oddly like sensuously stroking the seatbelt. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Odd character choice, but all right.
So Victor, though, he's making a phone call from a payphone. He's making a phone call to the adjoining payphone, where this black dude with a shaved head picks up. Dude looked like a young Scatman Carruthers.
It was
dude
crazy.
from The Shining. You know, I can't remember his name in The Shining.
Oh, I don't remember the character's name.
But yeah, the old
the
caretaker
wizened,
guy.
Yeah, the caretaker.
But the actor's name is J.W. Smith. He got his start in Walter Hill's movie The Warriors.
Okay.
He was like
All
one of the gang guys in The Warriors. So he says that his boss, Abdul Elijah, says that if Victor's got the money, then we can go into business together. So he tells Victor, meet me back here later today with some money in exchange for a sample of the drugs, basically. Dude was delivering the lines like way too fast. Talking so fast you couldn't really understand what he was saying. But he then says he understands now Victor's supposed to have something to give him. Victor like tears a $100 bill in half and passes half of it out to the guy as he walks away. The torn bill thing is apparently some sort of reference to
apparently a Soviet spy from
the Rosenbergs.
The Rosenbergs, where they split.
They use a half of a something or another.
Yeah, like a cigarette box or something like that.
Yeah, whatever. It's like spycraft.
Yeah.
Or whatever, tradecraft. But I don't know why it couldn't have been a torn like $5 bill.
Right. I don't know why.
100 is
waste
like
of
crazy.
Money. Yeah.
But so then the black dude tells him on behalf of Abdul Elijah and the Brotherhood, you know, it's been a pleasure doing business with you. Sports this sweet beret that he puts on.
Oh, if I could pull that hat off, I would wear it every day.
So then, he gets into a car and leaves. Victor gets back into his car and tells his goons that they're in business. Elsewhere, we've got Detective Art Ridzik. That's James Belushi. He is ogling prostitutes in front of his superior officer, Lieutenant Stubbs. That's Lawrence Fishburne. And his partner, Sergeant Gallagher. That's Richard Bright. Belushi was coming in like fucking extra hot.
Oof,
like
right
it was
gate.
wild shit to be doing in front of your boss.
Oh, I know.
Because they're all sitting in the car together, presumably working on some sort of a case, and he's like, "Oh, you think she bought those? I don't think so. I think those are homegrown. Those are definitely homegrown."
Speaking, of course, about her breasts.
Of course,
yes. I mean, what else?
So then Stubbs expresses his disapproval. He gets out of the car. Then we got Ridzik's very expendable partner is scolding him. He gets out of the car and Ridzik follows. And did you recognize the partner?
I did not. Well, I mean, I recognize him because he's like been in a million things, but like I couldn't place him for a particular.
I was like, I had to look him up, and it was fucking Al Neary from the Godfather movies.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God, that's so crazy.
That was like Michael Corleone's like his enforcer, his tough guy.
Yeah.
You know, that's amazing.
Wow.
So
how the mighty fall.
Yeah. But this trio then they walk stealthily up the stairs into this like tenement building. And Gallagher is explaining that they got a tip from his informant that the quote unquote clean heads were doing some illegal shit in the building. This is all apparently news to Ridzik, who like loudly is like, "Oh, don't tell me we're here to bust the clean heads." And it's like, dude, I feel like they like could hear you.
Just like, shh, fucking cool your jets. I swear to fucking God.
Yeah, he's talking about, I hate messing with the clean heads. I also need to say, I think the Cleanheads is a fucking terrible gang name.
Well, the other thing, too, is given the amount of dick and balls jokes in this movie, Cleanhead immediately, like, is this just a part of the running gag? Like,
I don't know. This is like a movie from the guy who made The Warriors, which had like a fucking iconic gang names. The baseball Furies, the Gramercy Riffs, the Boppers and the Rogues, and the fucking Lizzies. Anyway. Stubbs, that's Lawrence Fishburne. Stubbs tells him, "You're this close to getting fired." And Gallagher tells Ridzik he better shape up. So Ridzik gets a little more serious. He checks that his gun is ready for action. They kick in the door to find a couple of black dudes with shaved heads in there packaging up drugs. They handcuff those two dudes in the first room, which is like full of fucking drugs and guns. One of the dudes was the guy who we had just seen on the phone with Victor. Though it's a little hard to like recognize because they never really gave him a proper close-up, but I think it's another storytelling mistake, in my opinion, to have every member of the gang have the same haircut.
Same hair, and they were all wearing the same outfits, too.
Yeah,
like everybody,
it's just like, it makes them indistinguishable from each other. But Ridzik, he opens the door in the apartment, and there's another bald dude in there with a shotgun, starts shooting at him. The shotgun-wielding man, he then runs out of there. The cops split up to chase him. Stubbs and Gallagher go to chase him out onto the fire escape where the dude's taking more shots at him. feel like I counted like at least 8 shots from the shotgun, which I feel like is more than a shotgun can hold.
I mean, generally speaking, even if you like
like
load it
4 or
beyond its
5,
legal limit,
right?
it's usually about 5.
Yeah. So then Ridzik, though, meanwhile, he has gone down the stairs inside. He pops out outside behind the guy, puts a gun to his head. Fucking, I thought like a lot of restraint, considering if you could have killed this guy.
Right. I mean,
for sure, because he's like actively shooting at your partners.
Yeah.
Usually, I feel like cops are just looking for any excuse to blow somebody away in these movies. But then he gives a line that was kind of weird where he's like, "You look like Marvin Hagler to me. I lost money on Hagler." And he's like, "Okay." But they take him into custody. So later on, Victor is back at the phone booths waiting, I guess, for the guy to come back. But the clean heads are nowhere to be seen because they just all got arrested. So that one dude shows up to like harass him about hogging the payphone.
Yeah, which was just so weird.
It's like, shouldn't a Victor have like fucked that dude up?
I mean, given how cold-blooded he is to every other person in this movie, the fact that he doesn't do anything to this guy is so
like,
weird.
The dude's just randomly like, "Hey, quit hogging the phone, jerk."
He seems like
Dude,
perfect
it's like,
death fodder.
I know,
right?
you got to get at least punched out.
Right, exactly.
Something.
Just punch him. But instead he leaves.
Yeah. So Victor, he seems tired of waiting. He goes back to the car. They peel out, clearly run through a red light, which I feel like is relevant. We'll get to in,
We'll
like,
get
in
to it
a
later.
minute. But it was like, they run right through a red light, which seems reckless behavior when you're like active
He
criminals.
doesn't punch a guy out, but he runs a red light in the middle of downtown
like
Chicago.
broad daylight. Yeah. Now, meanwhile, back in the Soviet Union, there's a message coming through on the wire.
Which, interestingly, is not in Cyrillic.
Yeah, that was weird. It was like the English alphabet.
It was the
wasn't,
English alphabet.
It wasn't Cyrillic. That's
Nope.
strange.
Which was
That's-
like, but it was all in Russian, I guess. I don't
right.
speak
It was
Russian.
in English lettering.
In English script, right? Exactly.
And it's like this is odd.
It was
that
a weird-
their typewriters,
Yeah.
or printout machines, whatever, would be Cyrillic. I would think.
You would think, but not in this movie.
Not in this movie.
Yeah.
I would even think the Hollywood guys could at least rig up a typewriter to make it in Cyrillic if they wanted to.
Right. Well, the fact that they still wrote it out in Russian just with English characters, it was all sorts of like, you took it to 70%, you're like, good enough. Like,
Yeah, right.
This movie is filled with that, though, right? You get it to 70%, you're like, that's okay.
Yeah, we're good. So then an agent takes the printout to his superior officer, who then orders that agent take it, I guess, to the next guy up the ladder and call for Danko to report at once. They're all in high spirits because the message carries good news involving Chicago that we saw. And there was that bit where they're like, "Oh, gangsters," like faking like Tommy gun shooting and stuff like that, which was a little amusing.
Well, the funny thing is that entire scene was unnecessary. Given how much that they ended up cutting out of this movie.
We will never see either of those guys ever again.
Nope. You could have, that whole sequence could have been that lieutenant
tears it off and runs off.
Right, and that's it. That's all you need.
Yeah.
You don't even need a line of dialogue there, right?
It reminded me a little bit of the bit in Red Dawn where like the Russian invaders were fascinated about like American history, like the Old West or whatever, the Civil War
they take
stories.
The selfies in front of the signs.
Like that they think that Chicago gangsters, like, Al Capone type shit or whatever. But yeah, the interaction completely unnecessary.
I mean, the difference between that and Red Dawn is in Red Dawn, those soldiers
they get shot up.
They get killed
whatever.
up, right? It's a precursor to a violent sequence, and this, it just doesn't do anything.
No. So sometime later, Danko is being briefed by his superior. The courtyard where they were filming that was an amazing location.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I think somewhere in Hungary.
Probably in Hungary. Yeah.
So then Danko is told that Victor has been arrested in Chicago for some minor offense and that he's been assigned the mission to go and get him and bring him back, which throughout this movie, it feels like there's big, important chunks that are missing. I feel like this is one of the main things. Like, why wouldn't you show us that?
Right. Why? I mean,
especially we were just saying, you just showed him running through a red light. Like, you didn't even really have to show the arrest.
No.
It could have just been a police car pull out behind him with the sirens on.
Right.
Cut to like, we assume, he got pulled over.
Yep.
And
honestly, it would have worked better. Runs the red light. Cop car comes around. Woo, 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 woo. cut to Danko. We've got news that Victor goes arrested on some menial. I mean, like you don't need
Right.
that whole
That's efficient storytelling.
Right. That's like really covers all your bases right there, and we got none of it.
No, not at all.
And so we got a weird like desk sergeant going.
Yes. But no, I had read where the movie was originally like much, much longer, and they slashed the shit out of it
man.
in editing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. But they say they have information that Victor's been trying to coordinate a $5 million cocaine deal in the States. So Danko is instructed that you're going over there, you're bringing him back. Don't say anything to the American authorities about Victor's crimes because we don't want the Americans knowing that we have like crime problems, drug problems here. That's a recurring thing in the movie. Like the Soviets being very concerned about their perceptions and like saving face and like their secrecy, which I think was and still is very true with a lot of like America's rivals, where like North Korea is all like doesn't want anyone knowing what's going on in behind their curtain, you know, whatever. But still, it's a little like
it's a very specific thing though. Like drug abuse is
that
sort
would
of
be an
universal.
embarrassment or
Right,
something.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just
like,
a little strange. But I guess that would go against their propaganda, which is that we don't have those problems here in our like perfect communist system or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I guess.
The Americans, this movie is not.
No.
Which is a great show, everybody.
Yeah, oh yeah, watch it. So the boss says that once Victor is back in the Soviet Union, they'll have their revenge against him, which seems like weird motivation. That's not the way police are supposed to talk.
Generally speaking.
He says, you know, we're going to protect our motherland from the American scourge of drugs. And I did read, though, that once the Soviet Union had collapsed, like the new Russian leadership acknowledged that the country had a much bigger problem with drugs than they had been previously admitting.
Interesting.
So I think it was like a thing grounded in reality or whatever, but still. Cut back to Chicago at the airport. There's like a TWA plane pulling in. I always wondered like how some movies use real airlines and then others are like a fictitious airline and how those decisions get made. Like we're going to use a fake one.
And I wonder
we're going to use a real one.
Yeah, I wonder if part of it too is like when the movie was made and you know the rules have changed. And I don't know. It is weird though. Like this one, like so freely using it because it's not credited either. Like TWA logo on loan from TWA or whatever.
Maybe there's some are just like, yeah, we're going to take a chance. They're not going to like sue us over this. I could see if you're like saying, oh, the plane that got crashed or hijacked or something that maybe you wouldn't want to say, it was a United plane crashed. It's like, I get where United might be like, fuck you guys. You don't depict our plane crashing in your movie.
I would hate to be a copyright lawyer on a movie, man.
Yeah.
That just seems like a thankless job.
For sure, man.
Anyway.
But yeah, so we're at the airport. Rydzik and his partner Gallagher, they're waiting to meet Danko when he arrives. Rydzik was just like casually harassing this woman that walked past.
I mean, at least she actually responded and went, go fuck yourself.
Something like that.
Thank you.
Like, dude was this horniest character that we've seen in a while.
Unbelievable.
Now, apparently, though, the guy Stobbs, that's Lawrence Fishburne, Stobbs, their boss's report about the bust that we had just seen earlier, had like really shortchanged Rydzik's heroics, which is actually kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that's kind of bullshit.
Is that he had saved their lives and it was like he performed adequately.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you, dude.
Right.
That is pretty fucked up,
Yeah,
actually.
that is super fucked up. Yeah.
So then they see Danko step out and Gallagher goes and he introduces himself and Rydzik. Gallagher's trying to make all this small talk, but he's only getting like one word answers like, are you hungry? No.
No.
Thirsty? No. Was a good flight good? Yes. Are you tired? No. It was kind of like, you know, I think it's just supposed to be funny, but it more like just came off as bad acting from Arnold.
Right. I agree.
Weird.
It was clearly supposed to be a humorous moment of sort of like the fish out of water, like odd couple.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it should have been Rydzik. It shouldn't have been his expendable partner who did this. Right?
Yeah, right. There's a lot of there's a lot of characters in this movie.
There's so many characters in this movie.
Some of whom definitely aren't needed. We're going to meet some more soon.
Very soon.
But yeah, I agree. Well, like, I guess the idea is that Rydzik just doesn't like Danko already for some reason.
Yeah.
For reasons unknown. Maybe because he's grumpy
Just
or an
he's
asshole
Russian.
or whatever.
He's a commie bastard.
Yeah, he's a commie. I don't like that about him. Can you blame him?
I mean, they're
I don't know.
commies, so
But Danko got the flattest flat top you've ever seen in your life.
Oh man,
It was like his hair
Guile level, like
it was-
Street Fighter
yeah.
2 Guile level.
It was like his hair in Commando, only
Yeah.
like taller. So Ridzik then urges him, come on, let's get moving. I'm parked in a red zone. No offense. Which I know you hated that joke.
I thought it was
kind of made me
dumb.
snicker stupidly.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
so later in the car, they're continuing to struggle with small talk. They're trying to compare the weather between Chicago and Moscow. They're complaining about how hot it is. I'm fairly certain it was snowing in the scene earlier with
They were like dressed in furs.
No,
and-
I mean like just when they were busting the clean heads.
Oh yeah.
'Cause
Yeah. Okay.
They haven't said it yet, but apparently the early part of the movie, the cold open, was supposed to have been like 6 months earlier.
Oh, okay.
But when they were busting those clean heads on the fire escape, it was snowing.
it was okay,
and
I don't
that's
remember.
only a few days ago.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
thinking, right?
All right.
So whatever.
Again, this movie plays fast and loose with.
Well,
loose with
I
time
looked it
and
up. They
geography.
filmed it in the wintertime.
Okay.
In Chicago, so it's probably hard to film in the wintertime and never have any snow
It's
by.
always snowing in Chicago in
Yeah.
the winter. I feel
Yeah.
like.
Ridzik asked Danko, where did you learn such good English? And Danko says it's compulsory training in the military. He went to the military school in Kiev. And he's like, oh, like chicken Kiev. Like at my sister's wedding. Which is a fucking weird detail.
Which is not the last time we're going to hear about his
No,
sister.
he talks a lot about his sister, man.
We don't meet her though.
No, that's odd too. But Ridzik then he speculates that Victor must be the pretty bad guy if they sent you all the way here to bring him home. Ridzik wants to know what it is that Victor did, but Danko's not talking. Arnold kept giving him like shooting him these sort of half amused like looks. It was kind of good face work. Like he was vaguely annoyed by him,
Yeah.
but just like, I'm not telling you shit. I don't know. But Gallagher apologizes that Ridzik's being so nosy. Danko then asks about Victor's arrest, and they tell him that a couple of patrolmen had picked him up outside of his hotel. So then Danko says, take me to the hotel. They tell Danko that, that hotel is a fucking dump. We got you set up in a nice hotel here. But Danko insists he wants to go to Victor's hotel, which it should be obvious to the cops. He's not like going there because he is dying to sleep there.
Right.
It's because he's
his
investigating. He's
right.
investigating something to do with Victor, right? So the place though does look super fucking sketchy when they pull up. The cops are trying to talk him out of staying there, but Danko says he's going to be fine. That was a fucking amazing location.
It was. How the L going above, like on that
Yeah.
corner. Yeah.
You mentioned when we were watching, like that it kind of looked like a matte painting.
It did a little
The way
bit.
they had the train didn't look like it was really there.
Yeah,
but
like
I
it
looked
looked
it up
like a
online
composited shot. I
and
mean, it was
found
crazy.
like the location. And
Yeah.
there's a thing where the L runs right past this
Wow.
building, and I'm like, that is exactly what it looks
That
like.
is
Okay,
so crazy.
yeah, it was an awesome location.
That's a great location.
I've never been to Chicago. That's
I
an
have.
oversight.
Once in a long time. It's an amazing city.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
It's
I got to
so
get out
cool.
there.
Yeah.
But Gallagher says, okay, well, we're going to pick you up in the morning. He gets no reply from Danko as Danko walks into the hotel. So then Gallagher asks Ridzik, what do you think of him? I think he's a jerk. He's like, which that seems a little, I don't know. It's a little harsh, but it's like also like, I don't know. He's not,
He's not been like the friendliest guy on the face of the planet.
right.
at
Like
this
you, I
point.
feel like you guys are doing him a major favor
Right.
by helping him do what he needs to do over here. Anyway, inside the hotel, Danko goes up to the desk, says he wants to check in. This twitchy ass desk clerk is there. He tells him, like, go on and sign in on our big book here. And that dude is Pruitt Taylor Vince,
Mm-hmm.
whose name seems like it's in reverse order of what a name should be.
Right.
But he's a super familiar dude, except he's younger and skinnier here
Yeah.
than we've normally seen him. But he was in Deadwood. He was in Mississippi Burning. He was famously in X-Files,
Yeah.
right?
He was in a season 4 episode called Unra.
What was he doing in X-Files?
So he was this guy who projected his murderous intent onto photographs. And so the way Mulder was able to capture him is he would like develop film that he was near, and it would expose his innermost, darkest thoughts. And famously, he kidnapped Scully because Scully got kidnapped every other episode.
Yes. At least in the early seasons.
In the early seasons, Scully
Yeah.
was always getting kidnapped.
Well, it was that thing of like, how many times, Scully, are you going to be skeptical and be wrong before you just start listening to Mulder?
I still love that show. But yeah, so he played a serial killer who projected psychically onto photography, And that's how Mulder catches him. He like would develop film he was near.
Okay.
And he would interpret the weird abstract images that developed on the film.
Okay.
And it was a great episode. Actually,
Was it a good one?
Oh my God, so
Okay.
good. And one of my favorites actually of that season.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah. And his twitchy eyes are what really like
Yeah.
sells it so much, right?
I wonder if that's a thing that is the case all the time with him, or if that's just something that he can do on command.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it does seem to happen in a lot of his movie roles.
Yeah.
A little like cross-eyed thing going
Yeah.
on. He was like the big guy Mose in Deadwood.
In Deadwood, that's
yeah,
right.
and he
that's
still was
right.
doing that thing with his eye.
Yeah.
But so Danko tells the desk clerk that he wants to stay in the same room that Victor had stayed in. And then like a roach goes scurrying across the desk or whatever, and Danko squashes it. I don't know why that like moment was there, or if it was supposed to be like character development.
I think it's got to be character development.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what it tells us about him.
Not a clue.
But so the clerk sends Danko up to Victor's old room, which he very clearly says is 302.
302. And this is a multiple continuity problem here.
So tuck that away in your memory banks for later on. Oh, and the date on the it said 87,
August of 87,
which we had seen at the funeral of the partner earlier that it said he died in 88.
Right,
which
exactly.
is just a strange mistake to make.
Just a weird continuity error.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. And so it feels like to me that funeral scene was like a pickup shot or something.
That or that they had I don't know.
Yeah.
That is weird.
It's such a weird continuity error. It's such an easily avoidable continuity error.
I mean, especially because like it wasn't like one shot where you saw Arnold signing the registration book
Right.
and then it panned down to the room. Like all it was insert shots.
Right.
You could have just said, "Oh yeah, we got to reshoot someone else's hand signing
Yeah.
in, and we'll put 88 on the year."
Right, exactly.
Oh, they probably just thought no one's going to notice this shit.
No.
You did though.
I did. I noticed.
They didn't know that 35 years later,
One dude.
one drunk man in Georgia is going to be pissed off about it.
What's this? It is because of the 302, 303 thing, right?
Yeah, it becomes a bigger continuity error later in the movie.
And that bigger continuity error is the thing that like made me realize the other continuity error.
Yeah,
So
it's
anyway.
strange. But yeah. So Danko, he goes upstairs, surveys this shitty ass hotel room. There's like a coin operated TV that he puts a quarter in or whatever, and it starts playing porn. And
Yep.
he's like, capitalism,
Capitalism.
which is kind of a decent joke.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I had never seen anything like that, but you said you've seen
Once
a paid
when I was
TV?
very young, we did a family trip out to Texas.
Okay.
And we just stayed in the worst, shittiest dirt motel you can possibly imagine,
Okay.
somewhere in the middle of Arkansas. It was across the street from a scrapyard. I shit you not. This was a place I remember being terrified to sleep there as a child.
Yeah.
Right? And yes, that tiny dirt ass motel had one of those coin operated TVs in it. We did not put any money into the thing, so I don't know if that
Was it gonna be
automatically turned on
porn?
porn or what. But yes, I distinctly remember seeing that on top of that TV there.
I'm kind of shocked that that's not the case in every hotel in America.
Right, exactly.
Like, oh yeah, you want to watch TV? That's going to cost you extra, like Wi-Fi or whatever else in a lot of places.
Mhm.
But so yeah, we get the elevated train clattering by. All right, cut to next day. Gallagher is showing Danko around the police squad room. Fucking hookers as far as the eye can see.
Everywhere.
There was like
Everywhere.
a dozen different hookers getting walked by a dozen different cops.
No,
It wasn't just like one bust.
No,
it was like
they had just got off the biggest hooker bust in the history of Chicago. Clearly.
these were top shelf girls.
Yeah, they
too.
were
It was
too.
wild.
These were not the bottom of the barrel.
But-
Again, not an unattractive woman in this
No, it's,
entire movie.
whoever the casting director was like, it's a little bit, it's unrealistic. You've broken the fourth wall
Right.
here. The thing about sex workers is, generally speaking, the ones who are on the street corner
are the bottom of the barrel.
are not like,
Yeah.
yeah. They're not like
They're not escorts. We're not
the,
calling them
the most
escorts.
attractive, put together, like clean women you've ever seen. But Gallagher is telling Danko, it might seem like there's a crime wave going on, but this is just a normal
This
day.
is just a normal day.
So Danko then sees Ridzik. He's playing some sort of little electronic chess game.
Mm-hmm.
He tries to give him advice, and Ridzik says, I got it under control. And is that chess game real? I don't know how that works.
I swear to God, it is real. I remember
it was like a tiny little board with the pieces of little pegs you sort of move around.
And I think it's
how
got
does it work?
It's got like a bunch of pre-programmed moves in it.
Who are you playing against?
You're just playing against the little computer inside.
How does the computer move its pieces?
I have no idea. I don't remember. I feel like I know I've seen one of those before.
Yeah. The computer must tell you where it wants you to move its piece or something like that.
That's what I figure, right? Like, but I swear to God, I've seen something like that before. Yeah.
I mean, it must be real.
Yeah.
They didn't invent this for the movie. It would
seem like a weird thing to invent for this throwaway line in a movie.
For sure. So, Gallagher, then he takes Danko in to meet Commander Donnelly. That's Peter Boyle, who's finally popped in.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck is Peter Boyle doing here?
I don't know.
When you see him. But Donnelly says all Danko has to do, basically, you sign this extradition order and you can take Victor. I would have thought, like, with the bad relations between America and the Soviet Union at this time, like, it's a little unrealistic that we would help them with an extradition.
Right, exactly. Maybe we just want to get this.
Maybe we were trying to make nice at that time. I don't really know.
I don't know. It feels.
I feel like it was like any excuse to make them look bad.
Right, exactly.
Was like good for us. But
I don't know.
But Donnelly explains basically Victor got pulled over for running a red light. They found a gun on him and they placed him under arrest. Danko then seems surprised that Victor didn't try to get political asylum. So Donnelly sends his secretary to go fetch Ridzik, which is another just very non-essential character.
She's got like 5 lines of dialogue in this movie, and she didn't need to be in the movie at all.
No. Do cops even have secretaries? I mean, maybe the boss
in
does.
the 80s, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, in honestly, in classic like grizzly cop, commander role, he would have just leaned out of his door and goes, "Ridzik, get in here!" Right?
Exactly.
Like he didn't need a secretary.
But so Danko is studying Donnelly's aquarium, and Donnelly is explaining like it's part of my relaxation technique. He's got like way too much backstory.
Ooh, man, he goes on for like a minute, it feels like.
He's talking about his routine for taking care of the fish, and he plays this calming music, and he meditates, and like how he might need a bypass surgery coming up. And it's like, I feel like we're learning way too much about your personal life.
Which doesn't go anywhere.
No, not relevant at all to anything that ever happens.
No.
So Donnelly, though, asks, how does Soviet cops deal with the stress of police work? And Danko says, vodka. Which I did think was nice timing, nice delivery.
Yeah, it's good line.
Like, we know Arnold can be funny.
Yeah.
Oh, he was hilarious in Twins.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Kindergarten Cop, he kills it. Like, yeah, anyway. So, Ridzik then enters, and Donnelly tells him, take Danko down to the jail, collect Victor. Once Danko signs this extradition order, he can take custody of Victor, and Gallagher's going to take him to the airport. So, Ridzik then hollers for Gallagher to come on. We got more taxi duty. Cut to jail guard is walking him down to Victor's cell. Victor seems surprised to see Danko. Like, do you think he knows that Danko killed his brother?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know if it would have been like news filtered to him in America.
I guess so. I mean, that seems reasonable.
That guy killed your brother's dad. It was that guy.
It was the guy.
Everyone who would know Danko is like, he seems to be like the guy in charge.
Yeah, I think that seems reasonable. I'll buy that.
Okay. So Danko handcuffs himself to Victor, says, I'm taking you home. They take like great care to show him putting those handcuffs on, which is relevant in a little bit.
In a little bit, yeah.
But Victor tells Danko to eat shit. Danko slams Victor's face in the bars of the cell. Danko then walks him out with Ridzik and Gallagher walking along behind. They're like doing that thing where he's getting his belongings back. So they dump out a little bag of shit, including this little brass key, which Danko takes and pockets. There's Cracker Jacks for some reason, which is weird.
You got to see a ball game at some point, I guess.
Yeah, I'm like, is it even possible to obtain a box of Cracker Jacks other than at a ball game?
I have no idea. I've never eaten a box of Cracker Jacks outside of a ball game.
Yeah. So Danko wants to know what's the key for. Dude tells him, kiss my ass. Danko asks Ridzik what's the key for. How would he know? I don't know. But Ridzik says it looks like a key to a locker. Ridzik then asks Victor, what locker does the key open? Victor says some shit in Russian. Ridzik asks what he say, and Danko says he said go and kiss your mother's behind, which is a fairly innocuous insult as translated.
It's translated.
But Ridzik goes ape shit, and it takes like several guys to hold him back. Like he's losing his fucking mind. Danko leads Victor out of the cell, followed by Gallagher, and Ridzik, who's still fucking mad. He will not let Victor's comment go. Then the geography got really weird because it seemed like they were in jail. Then they go down some stairs. Then it seemed like they're in the concourse of a train station or something.
Right. It was
like there's newsstands and coffee shops.
But the weird part is that there was continuity because as they're walking to the stairs, you can see the jail cells behind them.
I'm just confused of like, is there like people just milling around and up this flight of stairs? There's criminals in jail cells?
That seems wildly unlikely to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what seems more likely is that they built a set on the top of like a bus terminal or something.
Yeah, right.
And then just shot it there, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it just seemed really, again, this movie plays really fast and loose with geography.
So now, they're saying their goodbyes. Ridzik tells Danko, you were right about that chess move earlier. And Danko's like, of course, it was obvious. And then there's this joke that Ridzik makes about, if you're going to flush this turd down the toilet on the flight home, why don't you do it over the pole? It was strange. It leads me to believe that Ridzik thinks that a plane toilet just dumps out under the plane while it's flying along. Fucking like a Dave Matthews Band tour bus.
Oh, God.
But meanwhile, we see there's like an armored car pulling up outside. Several black dudes with shaved heads are getting out. Victor's dark-haired henchman is there.
They're all like banging porn stash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're all wearing security guard like type uniforms, which you rightly pointed out that given their plan, as we're going to see, why are you bothering with the disguises in the armored car and shit? So Ridzik is stopping at a newsstand as Gallagher is walking Danko and Victor on out. And there's another funniest line where Gallagher's like saying, you got to forgive Ridzik's rudeness. He's going through some shit or whatever. And Danko's like, I try to forget Ridzik.
I tried to forget him.
So now the armored truck guys, they walk past and just club Gallagher and Danko over the head. It takes several blows to get Danko down.
Because of course.
Of course. So Victor then jumps on top of Danko and starts going through his pockets. Somehow, though, they're not handcuffed together anymore already, and they did not show how they got unhandcuffed.
But you can clearly see the cuffs still on them.
Right, so you have to show that.
It's another...
You took such care to show them getting handcuffed to each other.
Right.
That how do you not show them like... All you had to do is like pull out whatever, a bolt cutters or something, and you cut them loose, or a blowtorch or something.
It's
and
like really quick. I mean, it's just like one quick thing.
Yeah, it's just strange not to show that. That's sloppy.
It is, and it just goes back to the hatchet job the editor did on this movie. It's like, I get it. It's too long for the 80s, and action movies need to fall.
Maybe it was like as clumsy the way it was blocked, or some shit that it didn't make sense. I don't know.
And they just didn't get it on the day, and the editor's like, well, this is the best I can do.
I don't know what we got.
I don't really know where the fault lies, but yeah, it was a complete screw up. I mean, it was just...
Sometimes in these 80s movies, I feel like you got to chuckle up to the fact that everyone might have been high out of their minds while they were making the movie. Like they're all coked up.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, oh, yeah, we forgot to shoot that. We'll get it later.
Yeah.
And then we got to go. We got to go and let her do some more coke somewhere. Come on. But no, so the dazed Gallagher pulls his gun out and Victor's henchman shoots him dead. Then Ridzik hears the gunfire and goes running towards it. Now, the guys are telling Victor, we got to go. And Victor says, I got to have that key. Victor finds the key, but Danko sort of like regains his senses for a moment, swats it out of his hand. Just then, Ridzik arrives, starts shooting, shoots Victor's henchman several times.
Mm-hmm.
Ridzik takes cover, though, from a hail of bullets as all the other guys start shooting back at him. So they whisk Victor out of the building and into a waiting car being driven by that other blonde henchman, which makes you wonder, like, why
did you drive it?
Did you go through all this trouble of having an armored car and these uniforms?
Right, it's just so weird.
Yeah, it's a lot of trouble.
But it was a station wagon, though. And
it was.
Everybody loves a station wagon
Hauled
in the 80s.
Ass in that thing. So Ridzik pursued them out onto the street, but he doesn't have a clean shot at them. Usually in these movies, I feel like dudes are just have no problem shooting into a crowd of people.
Right.
So back inside, a woozy Danko is crawling across the floor very slowly towards the key. He finally reaches in and grabs it in his hand right as he's losing consciousness. They milked the shit out of that moment for some reason.
I kept waiting for someone to come and like steal the key or kick the key or anything to happen with the key.
Something was supposed to happen. I thought maybe Ridzik would walk back in and pick it up and be like, "Oh, it's the key for him." Stick it in his pocket, or something.
Exactly.
And now it's like, "Oh, I gotta get whatever."
No, but instead
he just grabs it and
then passes out.
Passes out.
Yeah.
Fade to black. Yeah, it was an odd moment. They built up a lot of suspense, then did not deliver on it.
No, delivery did not get delivered.
Yeah, strange. But that's the end of this section.
That's it. We're done.
Yeah. We'll have to pick it up from here next go around.
We're gonna take a breather and contemplate our life choices.
Yeah, we gotta age. This is gonna require more alcohol.
Definitely. There's no question about it. But we'll be back next week, so stay safe out there, everybody.
Absolutely. We'll be back.